You are not forgotten, and you are not behind. Every tear, every unanswered prayer, every moment of waiting has been preparing you for something greater than you can see. What feels like delay, silence, or loneliness is actually the soil where God is planting your destiny. Today, you will realize that this season was never wasted, and the life you are stepping into has already been written by His hand. When life feels heavy and the weight of silence presses against your heart, it is easy to believe that nothing is happening. You might look around and see doors closing, relationships fading, or opportunities slipping through your fingers, and the mind starts to whisper that God is distant, that your pain is meaningless, or that your waiting is wasted. But hear this clearly. Nothing in your current season is random. Nothing is accidental. The chaos, the emptiness, and even the quiet despair carry a message that only your spirit can recognize. Your heart may be weary, but it is not lost. Every moment of confusion, every tear you have shed in secret, is being folded into something greater, something divine, something that will reveal itself in time. The story you think is ending is only beginning, and the seemingly ordinary moments are the soil where your purpose is being planted. When you feel like you are walking alone, stripped of support, it is not abandonment. It is preparation. It is a sacred invitation to step into a deeper intimacy with God, to recognize that the world you see around you is not the measure of your value or destiny. The people who have walked away, the relationships that have ended, the friends who no longer understand you, all of it is a deliberate pruning. They are not proof of rejection. They are confirmation that God is clearing space for something eternal. And in the emptiness, you are learning a truth that cannot be taught, cannot be explained, cannot be captured by advice or formulas. This truth seeps into your soul quietly. It whispers that your worth is not dependent on the approval of others, that your significance is not determined by outcomes, and that your life is not measured by what is happening outside of you, but by what is being built inside you. It is in these seasons, when everything seems to stall, that your spirit begins to discern patterns invisible to the human eye. Every closed door, every delay, every answer that doesn't arrive carries with it a weight of meaning. God is not silent. He is intentional. The silence is not emptiness. It is a canvas. And you, even if you do not yet see it, are becoming the masterpiece that only time, pain, and divine orchestration can create. The challenge is that your human mind wants information. It wants steps, plans, instructions, explanations, and guarantees. It wants clarity now. But the spiritual world does not operate on a timeline that can be measured or managed. It operates in the language of meaning, in the hidden mechanics of purpose, in the unseen alignment of your heart with the eternal. If you chase information, you will chase distractions. If you seek meaning, you will uncover destiny. Many people look at scripture of faith as a library of instructions. They try to extract formulas for happiness, solutions for problems, or reasons for suffering, but that is not the purpose. Scripture is not a manual to control life. It is a mirror to recognize your soul, a confirmation that what is happening in the natural has a reflection in the divine. When David was anointed in secret, he did not know when he would sit on the throne. Joseph did not understand the significance of being sold into slavery. Esther did not see why she was placed in a palace far from home. Their lives were not marked by immediate answers or certainty. They were marked by meaning that would only reveal itself through obedience, endurance, and faith. What they carried inside them, the vision of who they were and what they were meant to become, was far more valuable than knowing every step ahead of time. And this is what you are learning now, whether your heart accepts it or not. The human desire for information is strong because it creates an illusion of control. We want to know outcomes so we can feel safe, so we can plan so we can avoid pain. But meaning operates in a different rhythm. It allows pain to purify, delay to teach, loneliness to shape, and challenges to refine. Meaning does not remove struggle. It transforms struggle. It does not make life easier. It makes life significant. When you begin to see your trials as purposeful, when you start to hear the whispers beneath the noise, the small confirmations that only your spirit notices, your perspective changes. You no longer measure life by what others do, or what happens around you. You measure it by what God is building in you, what character is being formed, and what destiny is quietly aligning. Even when circumstances feel random, there is always design. Even when outcomes are unclear, there is always intention. Every heartbreak, every setback, every unanswered prayer carries a sacred weight that is building something eternal. Your value is not in the clarity you receive, but in the clarity you are becoming. You are learning to stand without crutches, to trust without proof, to hope without a timetable, and to believe without visible evidence. This is the spiritual maturity that cannot be rushed, bought, or explained. It is earned in the quiet, in the unseen, in the invisible moments that test your heart and refine your faith. And so, do not chase information. Do not demand explanation before the timing is right. Do not seek clarity before the preparation is complete. Sit in the sacred pause. Let your soul absorb the weight of meaning that is being poured into you. Watch the patterns of your life with the eyes of eternity, and begin to recognize that what feels like waiting is actually the formation of destiny. The unseen work, the hidden alignments, the spiritual architecture of your life is far more important than anything you could calculate or control. Your season is not empty. Your struggle is not meaningless. Your waiting is not in vain. Every tear, every silent prayer, every night spent wondering if God sees or cares is a thread being woven into a tapestry far greater than you can imagine. This is why meaning matters more than information, because understanding the why of your season transforms your heart, strengthens your faith, and positions you for what only God can reveal. When you see the invisible, hear the unheard, and trust what cannot yet be measured, you begin to live from the realm of purpose rather than mere circumstance. You begin to rise above the chaos, and you begin to know with certainty that your life is never random, your pain is never wasted, and your God is never silent. There is a power in certainty. Not the kind of certainty that comes from knowing every answer or having control over every circumstance, but a certainty that rises from the soul and refuses to waver, even when the world shakes around you. It is the quiet, unwavering voice inside that says, I will not be moved. I will not be shaken. I am aligned with my purpose, and nothing can steal it from me. Many people go through life seeking affirmation from others, looking for applause, confirmation, or validation. They measure themselves by likes, by approval, or by how others respond. But the voice of certainty does not depend on anyone else. It is born in intimacy with God, in knowing that you are seen, chosen, and positioned for a destiny that no one can cancel. When your voice is certain, it does not shout to be heard. It simply speaks, and the world has no choice but to listen. Not because it must, but because it resonates with truth. Certainty of voice begins when you stop negotiating your identity with the opinions of others. Too often, people allow their self-worth to be shaped by praise or criticism, by applause or absence of attention. But your voice cannot be certain if it is borrowed, if it belongs to someone else's expectations, or if it wavers with every reaction. The voice that matters is forged in silence, in waiting, in seasons where no one is watching, and the only presence is God. It is in those moments, when the noise fades and the distractions vanish, that your true voice emerges. It does not ask for validation. It already knows its value. It does not need agreement. It already carries authority. It is a voice rooted in truth, grounded in faith, and unshaken by circumstance. Certainty of voice does not mean the journey is easy. It means you persist when everyone else doubts, when doors close, when storms rise, and when your prayers feel unanswered. Many give up in the waiting, settling for comfort, compromise, or convenience. But those who possess a certain voice refuse to bend. They stand in the wilderness, they walk through isolation, and they remain faithful when the world seems indifferent. Their certainty does not come from circumstances or outcomes. It comes from the unwavering knowledge that God is orchestrating every detail, and that nothing can thwart the plan that has been written for them. Even when you cannot see the path, your voice affirms the unseen. Even when the horizon is unclear, your words declare hope. Even when the heart is heavy, your spirit refuses to doubt. A certain voice is prophetic because it carries clarity in the midst of confusion. It speaks in faith, not fear. It does not waver with opinion. trend, or pressure. It is not swayed by rejection or affirmation. It does not bend under the weight of criticism, and it does not inflate with praise. It simply stands unwavering, declaring truth, purpose, and destiny. Those who hear it are compelled to listen, not because of persuasion, but because the certainty resonates with something deep inside them. The voice of certainty does not need to explain itself. It does not need to convince. It simply exists, anchored in power, and in that existence, it commands recognition. Certainty of voice is not arrogance, but clarity. It is not pride, but rootedness. It does not belittle others, but it cannot be shaken by them. It refuses to apologize for being who it is, because it knows its worth and origin. When your voice is certain, your words do not echo uncertainty, and your silence does not mean surrender. The quiet moments are where strength is gathered, where purpose is fortified, and where resolve is sharpened. A certain voice does not rush. It does not panic. It waits with confidence. It prays with expectation. It acts with wisdom. It trusts that every step, every season, and every encounter is orchestrated for its ultimate purpose. People with a certain voice do not wait for permission. They do not seek approval to act or speak. They do not hesitate to step into the calling placed on them. Their voice becomes a vessel for divine alignment, carrying a message that transcends circumstances. It resonates with truth that cannot be silenced. And even when opposition arises, even when doors are closed, even when fear threatens, the voice continues. It is not loud, but it is undeniable. It does not compete with others, but it commands attention because certainty speaks with authority that cannot be questioned. Your voice can be certain when you anchor it in God's unchanging promises, in the purpose that defines your life, and in the destiny that nothing can remove. It is certain because it belongs to something eternal, not temporary. It is strong because it is rooted in the unseen, not the seen. It is unshakable because it has been tested in silence, refined through struggle, and strengthened through obedience. And when your voice carries certainty, you become unstoppable. You are not swayed by doubt. You are not delayed by delays. You are not weakened by opposition. You are a force because you are aligned, and nothing outside of you can alter the truth inside of you. The certainty of voice is the mark of those who are chosen, prepared, and empowered. It is a voice that rises above confusion, above fear, and above opinion. It does not plead to be heard, because it knows it has already been recognized by the one who matters most. Your voice, when certain, is a weapon, a guide, and a declaration. It carries authority because it speaks from identity, not circumstance. It carries power because it is rooted in alignment with heaven, and it carries destiny because it will never settle for less than what God has prepared. If you have felt the temptation to doubt, to apologize, or to shrink, hear this. Your voice is not for everyone to understand. It is for those who are meant to hear. It is for seasons that are meant to come. It is for the purpose that has already been written. Stand in it. Speak from Italiano, declare from it. Let your voice rise with certainty, because certainty is not a choice of circumstance. It is a declaration of identity. It is the sound of alignment. It is the echo of destiny. It is your spirit declaring without hesitation, I am who God says I am. I will not be moved. I will not be shaken. I will not settle. I am aligned. I am chosen, and I will walk in the purpose placed inside me. There is a sacred process in the heart of every believer, a divine rhythm that many overlook, but that carries immense power. It is the process of emotional mirroring before resolution. Life often presents moments that shake us, moments where loss, pain, or confusion seems unbearable. The natural instinct is to rush toward an answer, to fix what feels broken, or to silence the discomfort. But God's ways are higher, and His timing perfect. Before resolution can come, there must first be mirroring. The heart must feel, reflect, and face the truth of its pain. This is not weakness. It is not defeat. It is preparation. It is the sacred alignment of the soul with God's work within you. When you allow yourself to truly experience the emotions that rise within you, you create a space for God to move in ways that no shortcut could ever provide. Emotional mirroring is the divine reflection of your inner state. It is God meeting you in the depths of your feelings, letting you see yourself honestly. Sometimes we are so busy avoiding discomfort that we miss the growth hidden inside it. God does not rush the heart. He does not force resolution before readiness. Instead, He allows the soul to echo what is true, to reflect the hurt, the fear, the longing, and the doubts that reside within. He mirrors your pain not to condemn you, but to confirm that He sees it, that it is valid, and that it matters. This is why some seasons feel heavy, prolonged, or intense. The heaviness is not punishment. It is the mirror that prepares you to carry what is coming, to step into clarity with a heart that is grounded, not fractured. When life feels unfair, when doors close unexpectedly, when prayers seem unheard, or when relationships falter, the heart mirrors back all the emotions that have been silenced, denied, or suppressed. In these reflections, you are shown your true desires, your deepest needs, and your vulnerabilities. Many fear this reflection because it exposes areas of weakness or brokenness. But God's intention is not to shame. His intention is alignment. The mirror is a signal that He is shaping your heart to receive what He has for you. Just as metal must be refined in fire to become strong, the heart must reflect and confront before it can be restored and empowered. Each tear, each sigh, each moment of struggle is part of this divine process. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. Emotional mirroring also teaches patience. It reminds you that resolution is not always immediate, and that God's timing is perfect. When you rush the heart, when you skip reflection, you risk carrying unresolved patterns into your next season. But when you allow God to mirror your emotions, the heart learns to release what is false, to acknowledge what is real, and to open fully to what is next. This is the rhythm of divine growth. Feel, reflect, align, and then receive. There is no shortcut to transformation because the soul must be fully ready to carry the gift of resolution. To skip this step is to risk carrying half-healed wounds into a season of promise. And God desires wholeness, not compromise. In this process, God also teaches trust. The mirror of emotion shows that He is present, even when the outcome is unclear. You may not yet understand why the pain exists, why the delay persists, or why circumstances are confusing. But when you sit with your mirrored emotions, when you allow your soul to be seen by God, you begin to trust His presence over your perception. You learn that the process is intentional, that every heartbeat, every sigh, every tear is part of a plan designed to align your heart with destiny. You begin to recognize that resolution is not dependent on timing that you see, but on timing that only heaven knows. And in this recognition, peace begins to rise. Emotional mirroring before resolution also cultivates empathy and discernment. When you fully experience your own emotions, you become better able to understand the emotions of others. You begin to see that struggles are not random, that every human carries a story of reflection and preparation. You learn to honor your own heart while honoring the hearts of others. You stop rushing judgments, you stop forcing answers, and you start allowing space for God's process to work in everyone's life. Mirroring teaches patience, humility, and compassion. It teaches that resolution is not simply about achieving comfort, but about being transformed into the person capable of handling what God has promised. The greatest transformations often come after the longest reflections. When your emotions are fully mirrored, when your heart has been fully acknowledged, only then can true resolution enter. The restoration that follows is deep, enduring, and unmistakably divine. Your soul recognizes it because it has been prepared, refined, and aligned. And the peace, the clarity, the breakthrough that comes after mirroring is not superficial. It is eternal. It carries authority because it is grounded in truth. It carries poise because it has been fought for in the invisible battles of the heart. It carries purpose because it was designed by the one who knows every detail of your journey. Emotional mirroring is the divine reflection of your inner state. It is God meeting you in the depths of your feelings, letting you see yourself honestly. Sometimes we are so busy avoiding discomfort that we miss the growth hidden inside it. God does not rush the heart. He does not force resolution before readiness. Instead, He allows the soul to echo what is true, to reflect the hurt, the fear, the longing, and the doubts that reside within. He mirrors your pain not to condemn you, but to confirm that he sees it, that it is valid, and that it matters. This is why some seasons feel heavy, prolonged, or intense. The heaviness is not punishment. It is the mirror that prepares you to carry what is coming, to step into clarity with a heart that is grounded, not fractured. When life feels unfair, when doors close unexpectedly, when prayers seem unheard, or when relationships falter, the heart mirrors back all the emotions that have been silenced, denied, or suppressed. In these reflections, you are shown your true desires, your deepest needs, and your vulnerabilities. Many fear this reflection because it exposes areas of weakness or brokenness. But God's intention is not to shame. His intention is alignment. The mirror is a signal that he is shaping your heart to receive what he has for you. Just as metal must be refined in fire to become strong, the heart must reflect and confront before it can be restored and empowered. Each tear, each sigh, each moment of struggle is part of this divine process. You are not being ignored. You are being prepared. Emotional mirroring also teaches patience. It reminds you that resolution is not always immediate, and that God's timing is perfect. When you rush the heart, when you skip reflection, you risk carrying unresolved patterns into your next season. But when you allow God to mirror your emotions, the heart learns to release what is false, to acknowledge what is real, and to open fully to what is next. This is the rhythm of divine growth. Feel, reflect, align, and then receive. There is no shortcut to transformation because the soul must be fully ready to carry the gift of resolution. To skip this step is to risk carrying half-healed wounds into a season of promise, and God desires wholeness, not compromise. In this process, God also teaches trust. The mirror of emotion shows that he is present, even when the outcome is unclear. You may not yet understand why the pain exists, why the delay persists, or why circumstances are confusing. But when you sit with your mirrored emotions, when you allow your soul to be seen by God, you begin to trust his presence over your perception. You learn that the process is intentional, that every heartbeat, every sigh, every tear is part of a plan designed to align your heart with destiny. You begin to recognize that resolution is not dependent on timing that you see, but on timing that only heaven knows. And in this recognition, peace begins to rise. Emotional mirroring before resolution also cultivates empathy and discernment. When you fully experience your own emotions, you become better able to understand the emotions of others. You begin to see that struggles are not random, that every human carries a story of reflection and preparation. You learn to honor your own heart while honoring the hearts of others. You stop rushing judgments, you stop forcing answers, and you start allowing space for God's process to work in everyone's life. Mirroring teaches patience, humility, and compassion. It teaches that resolution is not simply about achieving comfort, but about being transformed into the person capable of handling what God has promised. The greatest transformations often come after the longest reflections. When your emotions are fully mirrored, when your heart has been fully acknowledged, only then can true resolution enter. The restoration that follows is deep, enduring, and unmistakably divine. Your soul recognizes it because it has been prepared, refined, and aligned. And the peace, the clarity, the breakthrough that comes after mirroring is not superficial. It is eternal. It carries authority because it is grounded in truth. It carries hoi because it has been fought for in the invisible battles of the heart. It carries purpose because it was designed by the one who knows every detail of your journey. You must allow yourself this sacred pause. You must embrace the mirroring. You must not fear the emotions, the reflection, or the silence. God is meeting you in every echo of your heart. He is shaping you for a resolution that is more beautiful than anything you could imagine. And when the moment comes, when breakthrough arrives, you will not only receive the outcome you prayed for, you will understand the depth of the journey that prepared you. You will step into your destiny with a heart that is whole, a soul that is aligned, and a faith that cannot be shaken. This is the rhythm of emotional mirroring before resolution. It is not delay. It is preparation. It is not punishment. It is purification. It is not emptiness. It is alignment. Your heart is being readied. Your spirit is being strengthened. And your faith is being fortified. Sit in the reflection. Fail it fully. Allow God to mirror your pain and wait. Resolution is coming, and it will arrive in a way that leaves you transformed, empowered, and unshakably certain of the purpose God has written for you. Transformation is often misunderstood. Many believe change means altering behavior, adjusting habits, or forcing ourselves to act differently. But God does not start with behavior. He starts with identity. True transformation begins in the core of who you are, not in the surface actions you display. Behavior can be learned, habits can be modified, but without a change in identity, any shift will be temporary. God is not interested in temporary fixes. He is interested in who you are becoming at the deepest level, the essence of your spirit, the person He has created you to be. Every trial, every season of waiting, every moment of struggle is designed to strip away false identities, to remove the labels that never belong to you, and to reveal the authentic self that has been hidden beneath fear, expectation, and worldly influence. When God transforms identity, He's aligning your inner being with your divine purpose. The outside world may demand that you perform, that you act a certain way, or that you achieve specific results, but these are not signs of true transformation. True transformation is unseen. Even when the external world notices it, it is reflected in how you respond when no one is watching, in the peace you carry when chaos surrounds you, in the confidence that does not rely on approval or applause. God is not asking you to try harder, to be better, or to imitate someone else. He is inviting you to discover the person He created you to be, the version of you that has been waiting beneath all layers of doubt, fear, and compromise. Identity transformation is patient. It cannot be rushed. You cannot simply declare a new behavior and call it a new identity. The heart and spirit must be reshaped. God uses seasons of solitude, of testing, and even of disappointment to recalibrate your understanding of who you are. He allows circumstances to challenge the false self so that the real self may emerge. Just as gold is refined in fire, your identity must be refined through the pressures and trials of life. Every disappointment, every closed door, every moment of confusion is a chisel in God's hand. He is sculpting you, not for temporary admiration, but for eternal purpose. When identity is transformed, behavior naturally follows. Actions are no longer forced or hollow. They flow from the core of who you are. You begin to act in alignment with your spirit rather than reacting to the world. You do not chase validation because you understand your worth. You do not compromise your values because you recognize your calling. You do not settle for mediocrity because you know your potential. This is why God emphasizes identity over performance. He is not looking for what you can do. He's looking for who you are becoming. And the beauty of this transformation is that it is lasting. It is unshakable because it is built from the inside out. Many people fear transformation because they associate it with effort or pain. But God's work of identity transformation is not about striving. It is about surrender. It is about letting go of who you think you must be so that you can embrace who you truly are in Him. This process can feel uncomfortable because it challenges long-held beliefs about yourself, your abilities, and your value. It may feel like loss because false identities that once gave comfort are stripped away. But in that stripping, freedom is revealed. You begin to live in alignment with your true self rather than a borrowed identity. You start to experience peace, purpose, and fulfillment that no external success could ever provide. Identity transformation also brings clarity in relationships. When you understand who you are in God, you no longer seek validation from the wrong places. You no longer tolerate relationships, situations, or environments that do not honor your spirit. You are no longer swayed by opinion, pressure, or temporary. You recognize your worth, your calling, and your boundaries. You begin to attract connections that align with your true identity, and you repel those that seek to compromise it. This is not pride. It is discernment. It is a reflection of alignment with God's purpose for your life. The shift from behavior change to identity transformation is profound because it reshapes every area of life. Your work, your relationships, your decisions, and your reactions are no longer reactive or superficial. They flow from a place of rootedness, stability, and divine alignment. You are no longer performing to be accepted. You are existing as the person God made you to be, and as this identity is strengthened, the External manifestations, your habits, your choices, your influence, follow naturally and powerfully. God's ultimate desire is to see you whole, rooted, and aligned. Behavior change may produce temporary desire, results, but identity transformation produces eternal impact. When the core of your being is realigned, your life becomes a living testimony of God's power and purpose. Every choice you make, every challenge you face, and every blessing you receive flows from the truth of who you are in Him. This is the secret many miss. God's work is not about creating a better version of your actions. It is about revealing the true version of your soul. So, do not chase behavior. Do not focus on external fixes. Let God work on the inside first. Embrace the process. Surrender to the shaping, and trust that your identity is being transformed. In time, you will see that who you are becoming is far more powerful than anything you could have achieved by effort alone. You will live in alignment with your destiny, your purpose, and your God-given calling, and your life will reflect the beauty of a soul transformed from the inside out. Many creators believe that to make content long or impactful, they need to repeat themselves over and over, restating the same ideas in slightly different ways. But this is not how God teaches us or how transformation works. Depth is not found in repetition. Depth is found in substance, in exploring the layers beneath the surface, in bringing the unseen, overlooked truths to light. When we expand through depth, every word carries weight, every sentence adds insight, and the listener is invited to journey further into understanding rather than being caught in loops of repetition. God's messages are never repetitive. They are multidimensional, layered, and full of nuance. When you learn to deliver truth in layers, your audience is not just informed, they are awakened. Depth allows the listener to engage with the message personally. It does not insult their intelligence by assuming they will only understand if you repeat it 5 times. Instead, depth respects the mind and the spirit. It encourages reflection, it invites meditation, it stimulates discernment. Every layer of explanation adds clarity and richness, painting a more vivid picture of what God is doing, what He is teaching, and what He is revealing about their identity, purpose, and destiny. You do not need to say the same thing twice. You need to say it fully, explore it fully, and show how it manifests in life, in heart, in spirit, and in action. Expandability through depth also allows a message to feel alive. When content is rich in insight, every paragraph can stand on its own. It also connects to a larger narrative. The listener does not feel bored, because there is always a new dimension to explore, a fresh perspective to consider, or a truth to apply. This is the difference between teaching and ministering. Repetition teaches facts. Depth ministers revelation. You want your audience to feel seen, heard, and understood. You want them to recognize the voice of God speaking through every word, guiding them, confirming them, and drawing them closer to their true selves. In practical terms, depth means expanding ideas by exploring their spiritual, emotional, and relational dimensions. A single concept can be broken into multiple facets. Take the idea of purpose. For example, it is not enough to say, God has a plan for you. Depth explores what that plan means, how it aligns with identity, how it manifests in relationships, how it interacts with timing, and how it grows through trials. Each of these layers is a doorway to reflection and revelation. The message becomes rich, substantial, and expandable, capable of holding the listener's attention for longer periods without ever feeling stretched or shallow. Another key to depth is storytelling. Stories bring concepts to life. They illustrate principles in ways that resonate emotionally and spiritually. A story about Hagar in the wilderness is not just history. It is a mirror for the soul. It shows what happens when isolation meets divine intervention. It reveals how despair can become destiny. Depth comes when you unpack the story, what Hagar felt, what she learned, how God shaped her, and how this mirrors the journey of every listener who feels unseen or overlooked. You do not need to repeat the lesson. You simply expand it by letting the story breathe and reveal its layers. Depth also comes from connecting the message to Scripture without becoming a lecture versus a rancors. But the depth is in interpretation and application. Each Scripture has layers. Each passage carries insight into character, calling, and destiny. When you unpack it thoughtfully, you can expand your content naturally. For example, when Paul writes about perseverance, depth comes not from repeating the word perseverance, but from exploring what it feels like in seasons of silence, in moments of doubt, in situations where the world says you should give up. This allows the listener to experience the concept fully, to inhabit it emotionally and spiritually, not just intellectually. One of the hallmarks of deep content is that it is inherently expandable. A single paragraph can be the seed for multiple videos if you explore it carefully. Each sentence can lead to a deeper exploration of God's work, human response, or the intersection of faith and purpose. Expandability through depth allows you to maintain consistency in style and message while producing content that can grow in length, richness, and impact naturally. You are not repeating. You are layering, unfolding, and revealing more of God's truth with every breath of content. Depth also respects the listener's journey. It meets them where they are, acknowledges their struggles, and validates their emotions. It does not oversimplify, nor does it overexplain. Instead, it offers revelation that the heart can hold, insight that the spirit can receive, and perspective that the mind can grasp. This is why spiritually deep content resonates long after the video ends. It leaves impressions, reflections, and transformations, not just temporary attention. Ultimately, expandability through depth is about trust. Trusting that your audience can handle the truth, trusting that God's word is sufficient, and trusting that each idea has infinite layers for exploration. It is about giving more than information. It is about giving revelation, insight, and understanding. Depth, imbites, engagement, reflection, and transformation. Depth does not need repetition because it is already full, rich, and complete. And when you create from this place, every word, every paragraph, and every story can grow naturally, stretching into a video of any length without ever losing its power, authenticity, or spiritual resonance. If this message has touched your spirit, declare it boldly. I am chosen, I am becoming, and I am aligned with God's purpose. Do not let this season define you. Let it refine you. Remember, every closed door, every delay, every quiet moment was not rejection, but preparation. Stand firm in what God is doing in your life. Share this word with someone who needs to hear it, and let it strengthen their faith too. Stay fightful, keep walking in trust, and watch as God unveils the destiny He has already written for you. God bless you. If this message has touched your spirit, declare it boldly. I am chosen, I am becoming, and I am aligned with God's purpose. Do not let this season define you. Let it refine you. Remember, every closed door, every delay, every quiet moment was not rejection, but preparation. Stand firm in what God is doing in your life. Share this word with someone who needs to hear it, and let it strengthen their faith too. Stay fightful, keep walking in trust, and watch as God unveils the destiny He has already written for you. God bless you.